I really don't consider myself to be a cheap person. I'm more than happy to tip, but I feel like tipping nowadays is just getting out of control.
At the risk of being called broke, I gotta ask, can we all admit that this tipping shit has gotten out of control?
And I walk to the counter and have to place my order. And you turn that little iPad around, you're like, it's just gonna ask you a few questions. No, ma'am, it's just gonna ask me one question if I want to tip you.
Can we talk about how tipping culture has gotten completely out of hand? Why are we tipping for everything now? What's going on? Because why am I tipping 25% for scanning my own groceries? Tipping should be about gratitude, not pressure. But in 2025, it's becoming forced, uncomfortable, and low-key toxic. From coffee shops to self-checkouts, tipping culture has officially gone too far. And the fact that we are dealing with the high cost of living, which keeps rising each day with no jobs, is crazy. Like, we have so much to deal with. I mean, tipping should get off the list. Back in the day, tipping didn't used to be this insane. You tipped for table service, haircuts, maybe the delivery guy. Now, you're tipping for takeout, checkout, self-serve, like you're tipping before the service even happens.
Get me wrong, restaurants, I get it. Waitresses, waiters, I know y'all only making about 45 cents an hour. And that's crazy. So I get it. The minimum I tip is about 15%, and I could tip up to 100% of the bill. It just depends on how I'm feeling. The drunker I am, the more I'm finna tip. You understand me? But if I'm placing an order online for some food and you're making me pay online, like there's no option for me to pay at pickup, don't ask me for no damn tip. I ain't even seen the food yet. What? I haven't even seen the food. I don't know what's going on with the food. I could get there and it looked like trash, and I'm already tipped 20%. You got to be kidding. What? And not to mention you folks that be providing services. I just seen this video. This girl went to go get a massage. They asked her to pay for the massage before she got the massage, and then asked for a tip before she got the massage, and then got mad when she tipped like 10%. What? That's crazy. What be on y'all's mental for real? Why not just increase your, if you want the tip that bad, increase your prices.
A lot of businesses, especially in the US, underpay their workers. So instead of raising wages, they're pushing the burden onto us, the customers, by suggesting higher tips. And don't get me wrong, I support workers 100%. But tipping culture is being used as a band-aid for corporate greed. And it's getting awkward. Like you're standing there trying to be polite while the card reader flips around and hits you with tip 18%, 20%, or 30%. Girl, I just got a matcha in a paper straw.
So yesterday I wanted to get a massage because my back has been sore, but I'm a girl in her mid-20s. I didn't really want to pay too much, because I'm living on my own and trying to pay bills, save up for things, and going through a bit of a career change right now. I ended up finding a place for $80 for the hour, which I thought was more than fair, so I called, booked an appointment, all good. I go in last night to get the massage done, and it's funny, the lady actually forgot I even made an appointment. She was like, "Are you sure you booked an appointment?" I'm like, "Yep, we talked on the phone last night," but we laughed. That was fine. It was all good. We laughed about it. So she wanted me to pay for the service ahead of time, which I thought was strange, but also I understood because I'm like, well, she probably just wants to make sure she gets paid, because it's a smaller building and that's all good. So I pay the $80 with my card. She passes me back a slip of paper to write my tip on it. Now I'm standing there kind of wondering, what's like a fine, acceptable tip? Because obviously when I go out to eat, it's a $15 or $20 bill, so I have no problem tipping 20% because, I'm already only paying like $20 for the bill. But here I'm paying $80 as it is for the service. So I'm like, I don't know, $5, $10. So I write down $5. I'm like, hopefully that's fine, like, hey, if I was a multimillionaire, I'd be happy to tip $1,000, but it's like, I'm trying to kind of budget, and I'm already paying for the service. So I write down $5. I pass back the slip and she goes, "That's it?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "That's all you're tipping?" So I was like, how much do you think I should be tipping? Because I thought maybe she'll say $10 and I have no problem doing that. She goes, "Oh, definitely $20 to $30. I'm already paying $80. Old me would have just given the $20 and not wanted to cause problems. Even new me doesn't want to cause problems. I just wanted to go in there, get my massage and be happy and pay the price and give a little tip, like that's fine. But I was like, no, I feel like I need to stick up for myself in this situation because this is kind of rude, you know? So I was like, well, I'm not tipping $20. Like, that's a little much. She goes, well, the girls here work really hard. And I said, oh, I'm not questioning that at all. I'm sure they do, but that's why I am already paying $80. Like, I'm paying $80 and then adding this little tip on. And she goes, well, that just covers our rent. So then I'm like, well, respectfully, that's not my problem. Like, you know, I'm sorry if maybe your boss doesn't pay you guys enough. That's really unfortunate, but it shouldn't be up to me to make up for that. You know, I'm already paying $80 for the service, added a little tip, like, whatever. Anyway, she kind of keeps, like, going on looking at, like, staring at me, just making me feel bad. So now I'm like, okay, I don't even want to, you know, I don't even know if I want to do this. So I say to her, I'd be happy to take my business elsewhere because, you know, I can get a refund with my credit card company. I'd be happy to go elsewhere if my tip's not good enough for you and whatever. And she goes, no, get the massage and then you can tip more after.
Not only are we tired of everything going on, we are burned out from rent going higher, groceries are higher, jobs are unstable, and somehow tipping expectations just keep rising. It's giving survival guilt and economic manipulation. I even heard that some workers don't even receive the full tip. There are horror stories where companies take a portion or use tips to balance base pay. So you're tipping more and they're still getting less. Babe, this isn't kindness. This is capitalism.
If I'm in a restaurant where you're going to call my number and I have to get up from my seat and go get the food, I need a refill, I have to get up and go get my own refill. I need a napkin. I have to get up and get my own napkin. What am I tipping you for? Like, what's your regular hourly wage for? And I know some of y'all are going to say, well, people live on tips. Well, if you're going to live on tips, I think you need to go work in a restaurant where you actually tend to your customers. Because I'm a good tipper. Let me tell you, I tip really well. But if I don't know what kind of service you're providing because all you're doing is literally taking my order, I don't know how to judge whether or not you should get a good tip. I don't think you should really get a tip at all if it's a self-serve restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, you're taking my order. The people at McDonald's that take orders, they don't ask for tips.
We need better wages, not guilt trips. We need transparency, not 30% tip screens at vending machines. So I get it. If you're overwhelmed, you're not rude, you're not ungrateful, you're just a human trying to survive late-stage capitalism, one awkward tip screen at a time.
Let's talk about how not having to tip changes the dynamics in a restaurant. My name is Caitlin. I'm an American immigrant living in Portugal. This comment is in response to a video I made a while back about tipping and how it is just an atrocious custom that needs to die. But further to that, how does it actually change the experience when you don't have to tip? Well, like this person says, first of all, anybody will help you because there's not just one person who's getting your tip and the other people who might help you won't. But beyond that, to me, the very, very best thing about dining out outside of the US is that your table is not such a hot commodity, and therefore they will let you sit there and sit there and sit there. I mean, of course, like, you can't take the piss, but in the US, something that drives me absolutely mental is that if you say no to dessert but are still having drinks, they will bring your check over, put it on the table and say, whenever you're ready. But they don't mean whenever you're ready, they mean you need to go. And that's just wild to me because even if I'm not having dessert, that does not mean I won't order more drinks. And the longer you let me sit there, the more drinks I will order. And that is exactly what I do here in Portugal. In Portugal, the dynamic is basically the opposite. If they come over and they say, ask if you want dessert, and you say, no, I'm good, they will never come back. If you want to get more drinks, you have to flag them down. If you ever want to pay, you will have to flag them down. And I love that. I love that there is just no expectation. And I mean, I don't take the piss. I don't sit there for hours on end, but you know, chill out, finish your drinks, order another one if you want, pay when you're ready. It is such a calm, wonderful experience to dine out. And it's all because, you know, they're not chomping at the bit for your 20% or even your 10% or even your 5%.
Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you tipping less now, more, or are you just tired? I'm done tipping. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in my next one.